We're live. Unprepared and running behind, but we are live. Week one. Week one's finally here. I can't believe we made it. This whole off season of takes and takes. Now we get to find out if we were right or we were wrong. So I'm excited. I'm still kind of setting up some things for the stream right now. But feel free to start dropping start-sit questions in the chat, and we will get to them as I'm setting up. I'm also going to go live on TikTok, which is usually where we get most of our questions, to be honest with you. But I will prioritize the YouTube questions as they come in, of course. And if I, for some reason, missed your question, just find us at yardsperfantasy.com. Got my rankings. We got a start-sit tool on there. So we got you covered. I hope you just watched the coach approach with Coach Bruce. Yeah, I'm just setting this up real quick here, and we'll be good to go. Got some injuries to talk about. I'm all screwed up here today. All right. So we got no Mark Andrews. What the hell? All right, now we are good. Good to go. We're going live on TikTok. We're finally ready. Freaking 11 minutes later than I wanted to go live today, but it's week one. We'll get it. We'll get our shit together. So no Mark Andrews today. So we had no Kelsey, no Andrews, and it's kind of like these are the only two tight ends that we can typically count on, right? And these guys, we don't even get to have them in week one from the start. It's a mess. It's a mess. Absolutely a mess. I'm a mess right now. I am not prepared for this show at all. That's all right. It's week one. We'll get there. All right. Here we go. Week one, we had... I promise these are going to be better in the future. I'm still all screwed up on my TikTok live here. I haven't gone live on TikTok in like 9 months, so there's some things that are a little bit different on here that I just not remember having to set up. I don't know. Whatever. We're just going to do it. All right. So we're just going to go through some injuries and start hitting some questions as they come in. So we got the 49ers. They're 2.5-point favorites over the Steelers. George Kittle's good to go. He's dealing with a groin injury. That's really only fantasy football relevant injury that we had in that game that we had to worry about. Buccaneers, Vikings. The Vikings are 5.5-point favorites. It's going to be really interesting to see what Baker Mayfield does at quarterback there. With I told you I'm all sorts of screwed up today. Okay. Baker Mayfield making his Buccaneers debut. I think that'll be fine for Chris Godwin. I'm not worried about Chris Godwin at all. I'm more worried about Mike Evans. He's distracted with the contract situation, and I just don't think he's a great fit skill set wise with Baker Mayfield. I think he's on the downward trend of his career as well. All right. So Vikings are 5.5-point favorites. No fantasy football relevant injuries that we have to worry about in that game. Cardinals at Commanders. The Commanders 7-point favorites. I mean, the Cardinals are starting freaking Josh Dobbs at quarterback. Like, I don't even know if he's going to make it through the whole game. It could turn to the rookie Clayton Tune at any time. That's really not much better there. So for injuries for that game, Marquise Brown came in with a hamstring. He's good to go. He's starting. As is Zach Ertz, who tore his ACL late in the year last year. He's 32 years old. We really weren't sure if he was going to be ready to even play in the first half of the season this year. And yeah, he's good to go for week 1. I'm not playing him, but he's good to go for week 1. On the Commanders side, it's only some defensive players. Chase Young is out, but he's cleared for contact. Could be good for week 2. And Terry McLaurin was taken off the injury report on Friday, so he's good to go with his toe injury. That's great news for him. It's going to be really interesting to see how Sam Howell fares in his start. I think it's the second start of his career. I was going to say his first start, but Gerald Everett or Isaiah Likely for an Mark Andrews replacement. I'm going Gerald Everett. I tweeted this out this morning at @A_JohnsonFF on Twitter. We look back at Isaiah Likely last year. He played well in the opportunities that he had, a couple games that Mark Andrews missed. He played well. He's a good talent. But let's look at the wide receivers. Let's see who the Ravens were playing in those games. Demarcus Robinson was their wide receiver 1. Sammy Watkins, Charlie Kohler. It was just an ugly group. James Prochet. Now you got Rashad Bateman. You got Isaiah Flowers. You got Odell Beckham. So Isaiah Likely is going from, in those games last year, he was the number 1 target in that offense. Now he's what? The 3 at absolute best? Maybe he's the 4 even. So in a game against the Texans where the Ravens going to get out to a lead and they're going to be running the ball the whole second half of the game. So there's not going to be a ton of volume in the passing offense, though I believe through the course of the season, we're going to see the Ravens' big uptick in passing volume compared to what we've seen the last few years. That's not going to be the case in week 1, though. They're going to run all over the Houston Texans defense. What do you think about Nick Chubb? 76.5 rushing yards over. Yeah, I don't hate it. I think he'll probably be right around that area. Going to be a high-scoring game, most likely between the Browns and the Bengals. So I don't know if that's going to be a super run-oriented offensive game plan today for the Browns. But 76.5 feels like he'll be right around that area, 70, 75, 80 yards rushing. I think it could be more of a passing game between the Browns and the Bengals today. Higbee or Freiermuth? I know Higbee's like the number one option in that passing game right now. You got no Cooper Kupp. That whole offense is terrible. It's just terrible. So I'm gonna go. I mean, Higbee's fine. We're gonna go Pat Freiermuth. I know he's got a tougher matchup. He's got more target competition, but just a whole better offensive environment. Keenan Allen or Rashad White for the flex. Definitely Keenan Allen. I love Rashad White, but we're gonna go Keenan Allen. I think that's gonna be a shootout game. That's like the shootout game of the week. Highest point total coming in. So I really like Keenan Allen a lot this week. Brandon Cooks or Brandon Ayuk. I like Cooks, but I think we got to go Ayuk there. You could talk me into Cooks, though. Christian Kirk or Drake London. I'm going to go Christian Kirk. If I can stay away from the Falcons offense, I'm going to do it. But I definitely like Christian Kirk. We got Brady on YouTube. He's asking Justin Herbert or Russell Wilson. Definitely go Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert. Like we were just talking about that Chargers-Dolphins game environment is going to be fantastic for fantasy points, especially in the passing game. He's got all his weapons healthy. Keenan Allen's there. Mike Williams is there. How many times are we going to get both of those guys on the field in one game this year? Hopefully more than we did last year. Got Gerald Everett at tight end. Eckler in the backfield. I love Justin Herbert this week. I think I got him as my QB5, QB6. Russell Wilson is fine, but I've got him ranked. Yeah, I got Herbert as my QB4 actually for this week, and Russell's all the way down as my QB19. That's gonna be an ugly game environment. We don't know if he's even gonna bounce back, and he's going against the terrible Raiders, right? So that game could be low scoring, could be ugly, run oriented. He's also asking, would you rather stash Deion Jackson or Zach Moss? I'd rather stash Deion Jackson. He's a little bit more explosive than Zach Moss at this point, and he's more well-rounded because he can give you an option in the passing game where Zach Moss, he's not catching passes in that offense. So I think when Moss is back, he could end up, being the starter in that offense, but I think Deion Jackson is going to give you more fantasy football scoring potential. So I would go Deion Jackson over Zach Moss as a stash. Chris Godwin or J.K. Dobbins for the flex. I like both of these guys this week. I think it's a fantastic Dobbins week. J.K. Dobbins is going to get off to a great start this year. Going against the Texans, he's finally fully healthy. That's fantastic. The Ravens' offense is much, much improved. It's going to be a great week one. They're going to get out to a big lead. And that's when they're going to lean on the run game. And it's going to be J.K. Dobbins Day. Definitely playing him a little bit in DFS, starting him wherever I have him. In traditional leagues, Mike Williams, Najee Harris, or Terry McLaurin. I think we're going to go Mike Williams with this. We got McLaurin coming off the toe. He hasn't practiced in weeks. He's good to go, but he's got Sam Howell starting, so that's going to be a little bit of an adjustment there for him. So I like Mike Williams in that game environment where we just talked about. That's going to be a high-scoring game. It's the highest point total of the week on the slate. So definitely a lot of fantasy points being scored in that Chargers-Dolphins game. So if I have a Charger or if I have a Dolphin, I'm going to start those guys where I can. So I'm going to go Mike Williams over McLaurin and over Najee Harris. Javonte Williams, Raheem Mostert, or Khalil Herbert. I'm going for the same reasons I just talked about. I love that Dolphins-Chargers game. I'm going to go Raheem Mostert. I'm going Mostert in that game. I think this is the one week that you can put Raheem Mostert in your lineup with complete confidence. I think he's a top 20 running back this week. Javonte coming off the injury. I think he's going to be eased in. His workload is just going to be, slowly ramp up throughout the year. Week one will probably be his lowest touch total. And like I said, it's going to be an ugly game environment anyway against the Raiders. And Khalil Herbert, just a guy I'm not excited to start. At least Mostert gives you that explosiveness in an explosive offense. Drake London or Michael Thomas. Yeah, this one's tough. I think I'm still going to go Drake London. But if you're going to start Michael Thomas, this is probably the week to do it because who knows how long he's going to hold up. But I'm going to go Drake London there. Cortland Sutton or Damian Pierce. I really don't like Pierce this week going against the Ravens, but Cortland's going to be with no Jerry Jeudy, but I'm still going to lean Damian Pierce there. I actually have that decision in one of my dynasty leagues. I am starting Damian Pierce in the flex spot ahead of Cortland Sutton. James Conner or Miles Sanders? I'm going to go Miles Sanders. Conner's just going to be in this ugly, ugly offense. It's going to go through him, but the efficiency, the scoring opportunities are going to be a mess there in Arizona. On YouTube, we have Christian Kirk, Rashad White, or Deontay Johnson. I need one flex and one wide receiver. Let's go Deontay Johnson as your wide receiver. So it comes down to Christian Kirk, who I like, and Rashad White, who I love. So I'm going to go Rashad White. I'm going to go Rashad White in your flex, Deontay Johnson in your wide receiver spot. Michael Thomas or Raheem Mostert. I'm going to go Raheem Mostert. Rashad White, Mostert, or Mike Williams in the flex. Yeah, this is a tough one. I like all three of these guys this week. I really like Mostert, but I'm going to start Mike Williams there. Addison or Bateman? That's a tough one as well. So I think Bateman is going to really benefit from not having Mark Andrews out there. I think he could be the biggest beneficiary other than, Isaiah Likely, of course. Addison, probably the third option in the passing game. They could end up blowing out the Bucs. His first game of his career. I do like Addison, but I'm going to go Bateman there. Let's give a shot with Bateman. And then he had a second question there. Ferguson or Kmet? Let me roll the dice on Ferguson. Let's roll the dice on Ferguson. I don't think Kmet has a big ceiling at all. Not that Ferguson really does either, but Mike Evans or DeAndre Hopkins? I'm going DeAndre Hopkins. They're probably going to play from behind. I think the Saints could end up leading that game throughout. It's going to be an ugly game, but he's going to be the clear number one option in the passing game. So we'll go DeAndre Hopkins. Lockett, Debo, or Brandon Ayuk. It's hard to sit Debo. I think we got to go Debo there. I'm tempted to go Tyler Lockett, but let's go Debo. Jamal Williams or Cam Akers. Yeah, I'll go Akers. Yeah, we'll go Akers. Dalvin Cook or George Pickens? See, that's another tough one. How the Jets backfield's going to play out. So for that reason, I'm going to go George Pickens. DeAndre Hopkins or James Conner? Let's go DeAndre Hopkins. Should I start Waller or Juwan Johnson? I'm going to trust that Waller, they say he's good to go. I'm going to trust that he's good to go. So we're going to go Darren Waller. Raheem Mostert or Najee Harris? If you want to play it safe, your choice is Najee Harris. But if you want to swing for the fences, the guy who can get you those explosive runs in a high-scoring game environment with no running back competition this week. Jeff Wilson's on IR. Devon Achane's inactive. If it's my lineup, I'm going to roll the dice. Because I swing for the fences. I play to win. So I am going Raheem Mostert over Najee Harris. Njoku, or likely I'm going Njoku. Juwan Johnson or Everett. Ooh, I like that one. That's a good question. I'm going to pull up my rankings for that one, actually. You can find my rankings at yardsperfantasy.com. I'm guessing they're very close, and they are. They're back-to-back for me. I'm going to go Gerald Everett. I just like the game environment better. But I have them both in my top 10 for what it's worth. Gerald Everett's my tight end 9. Juwan Johnson is my tight end 10. Terry McLaurin or Michael Thomas. I'm going to go Terry McLaurin. Ramondre Stevenson or Tyler Higbee at the flex. I'm going Ramondre Stevenson. I expect he's going to be worked on the passing game quite a bit. They're going to be playing from behind, as well as, obviously, the rushing work. Jamal Williams or Amari Cooper. I'm going Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper or Christian Kirk. Give me Amari Cooper. I'm going to trust in Deshaun Watson today. I'm going to trust in Deshaun Watson. Going against the Bengals should be one of the top 5 highest scoring games of the weekend. J.K. Dobbins or James Conner. I love J.K. Dobbins this week. I'm going to go J.K. Dobbins. Perfect game environment for J.K. Dobbins. And if I have an opportunity to sit James Conner for good other option, I'm going to do it, because there's nothing against James Conner. It's just that offense is going to be so bad. We got Irvin with a question on YouTube. And hey, find us on YouTube. Just go to Yards Per Fantasy on YouTube. We're going to prioritize the YouTube questions. So if you want me to absolutely answer your question 100%, it will not be skipped. Go to YouTube, search Yards Per Fantasy, jump in the live on YouTube. So Irvin is asking Alexander Madison or Kenneth Walker, full PPR. So this is another one where if you want to play it safe, like we talked about a few minutes ago with Najee Harris and Raheem Mostert, if you want to play it safe, it's Alexander Madison. We know the role. We know the offense. He's going to get his touches, probably get a couple goal line opportunities against Tampa. But if you want to swing for the fences, Kenneth Walker. Now, he comes with a lot more risk, because he's coming off the groin injury. He's off the injury report, but he did pop up with the groin. And remember, he did have the groin on, like the beginning of training camp. So that popped back up. Alexander Madison is a safe choice. If you want the home run guy, we're going to go Kenneth Walker. All right, Trevor Lawrence. All right, I said we're going to guarantee the questions on YouTube, but that was when we had like 3 people in here. So we're going to try our best to get to them all. We have about 13 more minutes. Trevor Lawrence or Herbert. We're going to go Herbert. He's my QB4. So with the extra questions coming in, we are going to have to speed up the pace here. Jamal Williams or Brandon Ayuk. I'm going to go Brandon Ayuk. I'm not thrilled about starting Jamal Williams. He was very inefficient last year. I know he's got that backfield to himself. Going to be an ugly game. He's going to have to hope for touchdowns just like he did last year. Connor or Evans. I'm assuming this is Mike Evans and James Conner, of course. I'm going to go Mike Evans there. Rodgers versus the Bills or Love versus the Bears. Give me Aaron Rodgers. Swift, Rashad White, or Deontay Johnson, or Terry McLaurin, or Dalvin Cook in the flex. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys for one spot. Give me. I want to go Rashad White here, but I think we're gonna go. If it's a PPR league, let's go Deontay Johnson. Let's go Deontay. I do like Rashad White a lot this week. Trevor Lawrence or Herbert. I think we just got that one, didn't we? So we're going to go Herbert there. He's my QB4. I do like Trevor Lawrence as well, but we're going to go Justin Herbert. Javonte Williams or Pirine. Ooh, oh, this one's tough, man. Because we don't know how much Javonte is going to play. And obviously, that's also going to affect Samaje Perine. So, because he played in preseason, I think we can somewhat safely say Javonte is going to have at least a decent role today. So, I'm going to go Javonte Williams. This guy keeps asking. We got the question. All right. Cole Kmet or Musgrave? Give me Musgrave. You know what? Give me Musgrave. No Christian Watson. Romeo Dobbs is out, or he's questionable and could be limited. We're going to go Musgrave. If you want to go the safe guy, Kmet, we know the role. But I like Musgrave a lot. He's a super athletic guy. He's had a great camp. Yeah, so we're going to go him. Give me the rookie. So we've got no Jerry Jeudy, of course. So are we plugging in Jonathan Mingo from Carolina? Obviously, it depends, of course. Depends on your other options. So it's hard to really say. I'm not a big Jonathan Mingo guy, to be honest with you. I'm really not. But we have no DJ Chark for that game, right? Adam Thielen, good to go, but he's dealing with his own injuries as well. Jonathan Mingo could have an okay week one. It's not a guy I'm excited to start. If you're in a really, really deep league, fine, I'm okay with it. But if you want to tell me your other options, I'll be happy to help you a little bit more. So I would mostly say no. Going against the Falcons, probably going to be a low-scoring game. I'm sure you have better options. All right. So back to TikTok. Again, if you want me to guarantee you I'm going to answer your question as long as we have time, up to 1 o'clock, go to YouTube, search Yards Per Fantasy, jump in our live. We will answer your question there. I'm going to prioritize those questions. YardsPerFantasy.com on YouTube. Lazard or Van Jefferson. I'm going to go, we'll go Lazard. Should I go Tyler Lockett or James Conner? I'm going to go Tyler Lockett. Javonte Williams or James Cook? This is one of those where normally I would say absolutely Javonte Williams, but because we're so unsure with him coming off the injury, I'm going to go James Cook. Swift or Flowers? Swift or Flowers? Let's go. You know what? That one's a tough one in your flex. Let's go. Yeah, I can see why you had a tough one. That's a tough one because we don't know exactly how that Eagles backfield is going to play out. We don't know exactly how the wide receivers in Baltimore are going to play out. Give me DeAndre Swift. Isaiah Likely or Evan Ingram. Don't overthink it with Isaiah Likely. Remember, he was going against DeMarcus Robinson and Sammy Watkins as the James Prochet as the wide receivers when he was playing last year. Now he's going against Rashad Bateman, Odell Beckham, Zay Flowers, much more target competition in a game where I think they're going to run it a lot because they're going against the Texans. Should easily handle that team. I'm going Evan Ingram. Anthony on YouTube. That's Yards Per Fantasy on YouTube. Michael Thomas or Jamal Williams. I'm going to go Michael Thomas. We're going to assume this is a PPR league, and we're going to go Michael Thomas. If it's a non-PPR league, I would go Jamal Williams. But most are PPR this year, this day and age. Damian Pierce or AJ Dillon. Let's go Damian Pierce. Waller or Higbee. Give me Waller. I'm going to trust that he's good to go. Mostert or Sanders. I'm going to go Raheem Mostert. McLaurin or Swift. Give me Terry McLaurin. All right, so if we got Quentin Johnston or Jonathan Mingo, we're going to go Jonathan Mingo because he's going to play a bigger role this week. Quentin Johnston can't even beat out Josh Palmer at this point. So at least we know Mingo is starting. No DJ Chark. He's going to be the wide receiver 2 in that offense. Probably the third option in the passing game. He's probably going to be behind Hayden Hurst, but he's going to play in that big slot role in Carolina. Ryan is asking Jamal Williams or Khalil Herbert, 10-man PPR. I think we'll go Jamal Williams there. Andrew's asking Isaiah Likely or Nico Collins. This is where I would go Isaiah Likely. I would go Likely here. I'm not a big Nico Collins guy, especially going against the Ravens. You know, it's going to be a tough one. DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas, or Deion Jackson, full PPR. This one pretty easily for me is DeAndre Hopkins. That passing game is going to go through DeAndre Hopkins. Passing game's not going to be great, but it's going to go through Hopkins. Whereas Michael Thomas, he still has to deal with Chris Olave. He has to deal with Juwan Johnson, Rashid Shaheed. Going into the Titans, it's going to be probably a low-scoring, ugly game. And then Deion Jackson, that whole Colts backfield is just so – it's disgusting. So if I can stay away from the Colts backfield, I'm going to. So DeAndre Hopkins pretty easily there for me, full PPR. All right, we got about 5-6 minutes left. Get in the YouTube channel, get in the YouTube chat. Search Yards per Fantasy on YouTube. Otherwise, if you want to ask some questions on TikTok, we will absolutely get to it if we can. But you're more likely I'm going to answer them in the Yards per Fantasy YouTube chat. Drake London or Javonte Williams. Give me Drake London there. I'll go Drake London there. It's hard to start Javonte. I just want to take that wait and see approach if I have another decent option. So for that reason, I would also start James Conner over Javonte Williams. Deion Jackson or Jahan Dotson. I'm definitely going Jahan Dotson over Deion Jackson. James Conner over Javonte Williams. Higbee or Kittle. We're gonna go Kittle. We're gonna go Kittle. We're gonna trust if Kittle's playing, he's good to go. Higbee is fine. He's gonna be the number one option in that passing offense, but how good is that passing offense gonna be? Probably not very good at all. No Cooper Kupp is in a way is good for Tyler Higbee because he moves up the totem pole there on the depth chart and be the number one read on a lot of Matthew Stafford's dropbacks, but Cooper Kupp not being there brings down the whole offense. It's going to be inefficient. It's going to be ugly. That offense was Cooper Kupp. He was the guy who moved the chains. He was the guy who helped them keep drives alive, get down to the red zone, get those touchdown opportunities. I'm really, really nervous about this Rams offense with no Cooper Kupp. Cam Akers or Drake London, full PPR. Drake London, for the same reason I was just terrified of the Rams offense. Not that the Falcons is much better, but I'll go Drake London there. James Cook or Rachaad White. We're going to go Rachaad White. Deion Jackson or Jordan Addison. Yeah, I'm going to go Jordan Addison. I just want nothing to do with that Colts backfield if I can help it. Hollywood Brown or James Cook. Yeah, let's go James Cook. Same thing. If we can avoid the Cardinals offense, I'm going to do it, especially anybody other than James Conner. Terry McLaurin or Jonathan Mingo. Come on now. Let's go Terry McLaurin pretty easily there. Rachaad White or Raheem Mostert. We'll go Rachaad White, but I do love Mostert this week. If you can find a way to get him in your lineup, I would. Hunter Henry or Tyler Conklin. I'm going to go Tyler Conklin. I really like Tyler Conklin as a sleeper tight end this year. Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, I think could be really, really good for Tyler Conklin. A lot more red zone opportunities, and I think he could be the number one option in the red zone for Aaron Rodgers this year. Pittman or Cortland Sutton. I want to say Pittman, but yeah, give me Pittman. I'll go Pittman. James Conner or Alexander Mattison. I'll go Alexander Mattison there. Going against the Bucs, we know what his role is going to be. We know that offense is at least competent. It's good offense. The Cardinals offense is going to be disgusting. J.K. Dobbins or James Conner. Let's go J.K. Dobbins. I like him a lot this week. George Kittle or Njoku. I'm going to go Kittle still. James Conner, Dobbins. So we already answered that one. We're going to go Dobbins. Jamal Williams or James Cook. Give me James Cook. I got to sit one between Ramondre, Akers, and Mostert. I'm going to easily sit Akers there. I'm going to start Ramondre. I'm going to start Raheem Mostert. Addison or Dotson. We got one more minute. Dotson for me. George Pickens or DeAndre Swift. Let's go Pickens. James Cook or Bijan Robinson. Easily Bijan Robinson for sure. Let's do one more question. DeAndre Hopkins or DJ Moore. Let's go Hopkins. Musgrave or Juwan Johnson. Let's go Juwan Johnson. DK Metcalf or Amari Cooper. I'm going DK Metcalf. DJ Moore or Dotson. I'm going to go DJ Moore. Olave, Odo Beckham, or Lockett. It's definitely Olave. Khalil Herbert or Gibson. I'm going to go Gibson. Great matchup against the Cardinals today. Kirk or Pierce. Give me Christian Kirk. Trevor Lawrence or Geno Smith. I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence over Geno Smith. And Raheem Mostert or Kenneth Walker. We're going to go Raheem Mostert. And I think that does it. It's 1 o'clock. It's time to wrap this thing up. Good luck, everybody. Week 1 is here. I'm so excited. We will be back next week. Just check out everything we're doing at Yards Per Fantasy. We'll help you all week, throughout the week. Rankings, articles, podcasts, videos. And thanks, guys.